going on, YouTube? Ferocity? I hope you guys are doing well. A concept that I've talked a lot about here on this channel over the last several years has been potential. The potential within the Call of Duty franchise. Because as much as I criticize this franchise, I don't believe that it's necessarily all doom and gloom. I have felt, whether it's Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare 2, that there was positives, and that there was a foundation that could have been built upon. However, in both cases, they were never properly built upon. They did not allow the games to grow the way they could have, and they could have been much better games if they fixed certain issues early on in the game's life cycle. With Black Ops Cold War, there was a lack of content. There were some balancing issues, both of which were addressed later on in the game's life cycle. Now, there is still some balancing issues in Black Ops Cold War, but all in all, I still felt as if it was a pretty solid game, especially now. There's a ton of content, and that was something that was definitely lacking back when the game first released. And if they had this much content, let's say in February or March of 2021, when the game was in its heyday, it would have been far more successful, much better received, and would have just been more enjoyable. However, it took them several months, several content drops to get to where they are today, and frankly, for a lot of players, they exit right around that January to February time, and that's when you need to be pulling out all the stops to try to retain them, because if you can retain them through those months, they're going to play your game for the majority of the year, and there you go, there's some more revenue. The issue with Modern Warfare 2 was that the playbook was laid out from the community on what needed to be changed, what needed to be addressed so the game could be as successful as it possibly could be. However, those concerns, those criticisms, as we've talked about many times here, were left unanswered. They were ignored. We never got the changes that were necessary to Modern Warfare 2's long-term health. The game still lacked quality maps, and still does to this day. The best maps in Modern Warfare 2 right now are maps that are from Call of Duty 4. That's sad. You needed to make your own maps, Infinity Ward. You needed to at least try, and you couldn't even do that. This game suffers from a lack of original content. It suffers from a lack of care and originality, and that's the biggest knock on Modern Warfare 2. It could have been a great game. There's definitely a foundation there for a good game, but it needed the attention early on. And it was very clear that there was a vision from Infinity Ward and Activision that they were not going to let anybody interfere on. And that was the toughest thing to swallow as a community. Because these games, at the end of the day, should be built for us. It shouldn't be built for some weird vision that you have that isn't resonating with the majority of the community. There's a reason why my comments are filled with people that said they turned their back on Modern Warfare 2. They didn't even buy Modern Warfare 2. And it's because they're not able to resonate with players. You're the best-selling Call of Duty of all time, and you have a tough time getting people to watch your content on Twitch. You have a tough time getting people to care about new content drops. You have a tough time retaining players. How is that? How have you gone from being the best-selling Call of Duty to not being able to retain a healthy fan base? It's a multitude of decisions, but it's ultimately coming down to not realizing your potential. It is squandering what you have built. It is squandering the easy formula that has been laid out for Call of Duty for a decade now. Over a decade at this point. This has been Modern Warfare 2's biggest mistake. And you can come at me and you can say, well, the game is still doing great. Look at the numbers. Those numbers are impressive, don't get me wrong. But we're comparing them to Call of Duty Vanguard numbers. It's not something that we can just say, oh yeah, Vanguard was great, because it wasn't. A lot of players didn't play Vanguard. There was a reason why it was such a surprise that Modern Warfare 2 sold the way it did. Because Vanguard pushed so many people away because it was a garbage game. Notice how I didn't say that it had potential? Because it didn't. It sucked. But don't worry, those who brought you Vanguard are also bringing you Modern Warfare 3. and I'm supposed to believe that they've somehow figured out game design in the last 2 years? Give me a break. Anyways, as much as I look at those numbers and I'm impressed by them and I'm happy for them, they could be much higher. And that's what I wish people understood. When I say that Call of Duty isn't prosperous, I'm not saying it's not profitable. I'm not saying that it's not even good. What I'm saying is it's not as good as it can be. It's a game that is not realizing its potential. This is it at maybe 40% effort. Imagine if the developers put all of their effort into the game. Imagine if they were allowed to be creative. Imagine if they were allowed to actually be innovative. Think of the numbers they do then. You think the numbers would go down? No! They'd exponentially rise, because if the community was invested into the game, we'd spend money. There's a reason why I've poured money into Dead by Daylight. It's because I enjoy the game. I have fun on the game. The cosmetics, the characters, they're worth my time to purchase because I actually enjoy playing the variety that they have. But unlike Call of Duty, where I just feel every new content drop is just a way to squeeze a cent out of us, I'm not incentivized to spend the money. I have no interest in doing it. And I know I'm not alone. There's probably lots of players who do not want to spend the money on Modern Warfare 2. They don't care about the bundles because we're not seeing any of this money reinvested into the game. Unlike Dead by Daylight that's been around for 7 years, these developers need something to keep the money rolling in because it's not like new copies are flying off the shelves. Unlike Call of Duty, who gets a brand new investment of $1 billion from the community every single year when they drop a new game. They always have that money coming in, and they still cannot get me to spend a dime in the store because none of it is attractive to me. And I'm sure there's players out there who buy 1, maybe 2 bundles a year and call it quits. There's probably players out there who only buy the Battle Pass. Do you not think that players should be incentivized to spend more money in your store? Do you not think that you should give them more reason to spend more money? At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. But if Call of Duty got a grip on itself and understood that its community is what allows it to be as successful as it can be, it would start to understand that there's a lot of potential here. There's people that want Call of Duty to succeed. Well, pardon me. There's people that want Call of Duty to succeed, and they're the ones that are your biggest critics. Do you think I'm critical of Call of Duty just because I find it fun? No, it's because I want it to be a successful franchise. I want them to listen to the cries, to the complaints, to the criticism, and actually change, grow, and evolve. That's what I want from Call of Duty. That's why I constantly say they don't realize their potential. They miss the mark constantly. They're scummy, they're this, they're that. It's not because I don't care. It's not because I want them to be bad. I want Call of Duty to be at the top of the game. I want them to be the game that everybody else copies, because that was when Call of Duty was at its best. Like I said, they made Halo completely have a mental breakdown with Halo 4 and decide to bring in Create a Class into Halo because they needed to be like Call of Duty. That's the problem. Call of Duty's gotten a way of being that #1 game. They're so steadfast on trying to be better than the competition by being the competition. That's their game plan right now, and what they should focus on is being Call of Duty. Work with your community. Listen to what they have to say. Don't just walk away from them. Don't turn a blind eye. Don't alienate them. This is what we talk about. So I hope for Modern Warfare 3, and I don't have high hopes. You guys have heard me talk about it. I want to see them actually do something that is for the community. I want to see some potential realized with Modern Warfare 3. I still don't know what to expect with this game. I still don't know if I'm excited for it or if I'm just kind of sitting by and hoping that it's better. I'm hoping that it can do something to grab me, to actually excite me. Obviously, as it stands right now, the hopes are pretty low. The expectations are even lower. And that's not the way Call of Duty should be. That's not the way a new game should be. I should not be going in with low expectations. But here we are. This is what the franchise has set up, and it's extremely disappointing. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. I want you guys to let me know how you feel about Call of Duty's potential problem, how they do not understand or capitalize on all the potential these games have. Because whether it's Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare 2 or hell, even like a game like Black Ops 4, those games had real potential. They could have been amazing games, but they just needed that 1 or 2 more tweaks to be there. So I'd love to hear from you guys on your thoughts in that. But that's all I have for today. That's the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.